What is up, ADA Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed. As a part of today's video, I want to highlight 4 separate projects building on Cardano with some recent updates that I think you might find valuable. As always, if it's your first time stopping by the channel, my goal is to provide you in the community with all of the latest highlights, news, and updates going on. If you guys would like to support the channel, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. As a part of today's video, first things first, I want to briefly review the Lenfi, previously known as AADA Finance, monthly stats for the month of December of 2023. Following that, I want to talk about the MAYZ protocol, which is aiming to be an index fund or decentralized index fund protocol building on Cardano, giving you easy exposure to baskets of multiple assets within the growing Cardano ecosystem. Now they're officially live on the testnet, and I want to highlight exactly how you can get access as well as what features will be available. Following the updates from MAYZ, I want to talk about GoKey, which is a platform that allows for decentralized investments into real estate and properties. And this particular update is going to be surrounding their DAO, which is officially gone live, which allows for members within the GoKey community to begin investing in properties together. Last but not least, I want to talk about CSwap, which is aiming to be a fungible token and a non-fungible token AMM style protocol. And I want to highlight a recent piece of news that has just come out surrounding when they expect for the full platform, I believe, to actually go live. So without any further ado, let's jump into the first segment, which is surrounding the Lenfi protocol. So Lenfi news or Lenfi monthly stats. As it stands right now, their TVL is sitting at about 18 million ADA. The average size per loan continues to increase, now reaching over 7,100 ADA per loan. If I pull up my calculator very quickly here and I just do some math, and we see exactly how much that is in terms of US dollars, that now sits at $4,200 per loan. So as you guys can see there, those are some pretty big numbers coming in from the top lending and borrowing protocol right now on Cardano. Now, taking a look at the token spotlight, I believe it was about 3 months straight, the token spotlight was held by SNEC. That has now been taken over by ADA. So we've seen over 5 million ADA being borrowed with an average APR of about 14%. So really nice interest for anybody who's looking to borrow, or lend out their ADA for somebody to borrow utilizing the Lenfi protocol. In terms of the assets used as most collateral, let me just go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. We've got SNEC being used as collateral. In terms of the rankings, they're coming in at number 1 with over 12.4 million ADA's worth of SNEC being used on the platform. Next, we've got the Lenfi governance token, or the native governance token for the Lenfi protocol, and that has been used for over 8.3 million ADA in terms of collateral, followed by a pretty steep drop off with Iagon coming in at number 3 with over 2.5 million ADA's worth of IAG being utilized as collateral. Following that, we've got Optum, Hunt, and Copy also being used as collateral. As a quick aside, we did recently see the Optum token being added as a collateral asset as well as a borrowable asset. And then we also saw, I believe it's the USDM token, which does have a slight delay right now. They're going to be a fiat-backed stablecoin coming to Cardano, being added as a borrowable asset as well. Now, I'm not currently aware of any additional governance proposals coming down the pipelines as of right now, but in future updates, if there's any assets being proposed to be added as collateral or as a borrowable asset, I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. Now at the bottom left-hand corner there, in terms of most borrowed assets, we've got ADA, which I mentioned earlier, with over 5.3 million ADA being borrowed, followed by SNEC with 67,000 ADA's worth being borrowed. Followed by that, we've got IUSD from Indigo, and then the Lenfi token, Jet, and Copy. Now, in terms of people who are looking to provide their assets to this protocol in order to earn an APR, the most lucrative item right now in terms of most borrowed tokens and their APR is going to be SNEC. So if you have the SNEC token and you want to basically provide that or loan that out to somebody, right now that does seem to provide a really high APR, or at least it did in the month of December. Second, we've got IUSD. So that's the stablecoin from Indigo, providing a 22% APR, followed by JET, another stablecoin. And then we've got Lenfi, and then we've got ADA, followed by GoKey. What's interesting there, taking a look at all of those numbers, is that all of those currently surpass the traditional ADA staking rewards. So again, if you're looking to provide some of these assets and make them work a little bit harder for you, right, then take a look at potentially utilizing something like Lenfi. Now that doesn't come without any risks. Of course, you want to make sure that the loan health and that the amount of collateral that's actually being put down before the loan is given out makes sense for you in the event that somebody defaults on their loan or just chooses not to repay back the original amount. You want to make sure that you're not left underwater or taking a loss. So that will do it there for the very first set of updates as a part of today's Cardano Scoop. Moving over into this next section, I want to briefly chat about the MAYZ protocol. So I've had Diego Torres on the channel before, and he's basically broken down everything that MAYZ is aiming to bring to Cardano. Now, they had a private testnet, and that appears to have now wrapped up, and they're now ready to move over into the public testnet for the ADA community. So it states here, Happy New Year, Cardano community. We want to share our first testnet version of the MAYZ protocol with you and invite you to go ahead and try it out. In this first version with limited features, you can go ahead and do the following. Number 1, connect your wallet. Number 2, view funds. Number 3, view fund details. Number 4, actually take part in the index funds. Number 4, participate with ADA, participate with fungible tokens, and then you can also buy and sell fungible tokens on the platform. Last but not least, you can view your history as well as view your portfolio. Now, that is quite a bit there. I am actually currently testing out the platform right now. Over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours, I do plan on rolling out an additional video dedicated specifically for MAYZ, breaking down exactly how you can go ahead and test all those different features out. I have also been speaking with the team. They will be releasing additional features from an administrative perspective where you can actually begin to set up your own funds as well. So that is a pretty big update coming in from the MAYZ team. Again, I've got multiple interviews with the team on the channel. I'll go ahead and leave the link to those down below, but let me know what you guys think. We now have the MAYZ protocol coming on the testnet. We're expecting to also get the Matera platform launching on the testnet as well, hopefully in Q1 of 2024. They currently have their ISPO ongoing. So does the MAYZ team. They've also got an ISPO ongoing as well. And I've also actually touched on that in a fully separate video as well. Now, last but not least, we're expecting a third contender or a third builder in this particular space, which is going to be Linkage Finance, which is also available now on the Cardano testnet. So the race for the index protocols on Cardano is finally beginning to heat up. And this is, at just the right time, with the expectation that once Bitcoin breaks all-time highs and layer ones follow along in making their own all-time highs, that we're going to begin to see liquidity flowing into Cardano native tokens. So when that happens, right, there's going to be a huge influx of new members that aren't necessarily aware of what everything represents or of all of the assets within the Cardano ecosystem. But if they've got access to something like a MAYZ fund, right, they can quickly get exposure to a ton of metaverses, a ton of DEXes, a ton of oracles, and just different mixes of these different types of assets built within the Cardano ecosystem. So I think platforms like MAYZ, also like Matera, Linkage Finance, and even the Blue Shift Index or the Blue Shift platform, right, which is also focusing on index funds, are all going to be poised to make huge runs and just get a lot of adoption as more people come into this space looking for exposure to Cardano native tokens. That will do it there for that particular update. As always, if you guys do enjoy these updates here, which I try to provide to you guys here daily, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. Not only does it help to get this content out to other members within the growing Cardano community, it also lets YouTube algorithm know that I'm doing a great job. As always, if you guys want more content, consider subscribing to Dapp Central. And last but not least, if you have any questions surrounding Lenfi or MAYZ, or any of the two other projects we're going to be talking about today, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. Moving over, I want to briefly talk about GoKey. So if you guys have not heard about GoKey and you're interested in real estate and investing in real estate, this is going to be one that you definitely want to go ahead and check out. If I'm not mistaken, they've also got an ongoing ISPO, and I'll be trying to release a fully dedicated ISPO video in the course of the next coming days as well, in order to highlight everything that's going on right now in the growing Cardano ecosystem. There's been a lot of ISPOs that have recently ended, and some that are still ongoing, and some that have just kicked off that I want to go ahead and bring to your attention. Now, pivoting back over to GoKey, this is surrounding their official investment DAO. So if you're looking to participate and have fractional ownership of different properties or real estate within the United States, this will be the project for you. So it states that this is going to be community driven and fully legally compliant. GoKey has officially cracked the code for creating legally compliant US-based real estate investment DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organizations. Now, this will allow for you to join as a co-owner of US real estate investments. They'll be utilizing the Clarity DAO for on-chain tools to participate in investment decision-making. And if you guys are not familiar, I've had Justin Schreiner as well as Logan Poncho on the channel to break down everything that the Clarity DAO is providing. So Clarity allows for you to create your own DAOs for Cardano specific projects. It allows for you to set different weights and different voting mechanics in order to basically grab information from anybody who's a part of that DAO. So the GoKey team is partnering up now with Clarity DAO in order to provide their community with a way to gather as well as make investment decisions when it comes to the GoKey DAO. Now, moving forward, you'll be able to create your own sub-DAO with co-investors from the GoKey community. So think about this as meeting other investors that are looking to do the same exact thing as you, which is to invest, whether it's whole or in partial ownership of US properties. And then from there, once you have your sub-DAO, you can then utilize that in order to make decisions surrounding the financial aspects of the property you're looking to invest in. Last but not least, you'll be able to learn more about real estate investing, have fun, and earn a return on your investment by joining the GoKey Discord. Now, there's a really cool question that I wanted to highlight here as well, which is just surrounding whether or not this is open to non-US residents. And it states here that preliminarily or early indications from their tax consultant is yes. So they're going to have a final analysis and recommendation hopefully coming soon. But as it stands right now, it looks like even if you're not living within the United States, that you can go ahead and join one of the GoKey DAOs, right? Or one of their sub DAOs in order to begin making investments in real estate within the United States. So a huge piece of news coming in here for anybody who's an investor, specifically focusing on real estate. Now, moving over, we've got gokey.finance/DAO if you guys want to find out more about what their DAO has to offer. So again, this is focusing on community owned and managed real estate. And this breaks down the fact that they are going to be an LLC, a limited liability company formed within the state of Wyoming. So pretty interesting news there. Again, that is definitely something that I'm personally going to be looking into, especially as you're able to take profit from crypto, which is obviously a super volatile asset class. You'd want to go ahead and invest that into something a little bit more passive and a little bit something less risk adverse. For example, like real estate, where the gains are relatively steady, they're predictable, and they're nice and simple to manage, as opposed to crypto where, you know, things are extremely volatile. One day things are up, one day things are down. I personally think that that's an awesome strategy to take all your gains from crypto after the bull market is over and then begin to shift that over to less risk adverse or less risky assets, which include for myself real estate. So let me know what you guys think down below. What are you planning to do with your personal gains once you actually make it big time in the bull run? If you've been here watching the channel over the course of the last 2 years, which has been a slow and brutal bear market. Jumping into the very last update for today's Cardano Scoop, I want to talk about a project that I haven't covered here on the channel before, but that I am looking to cover moving forward. So that is going to be CSwap. Now, they're going to be a DEX for fungible tokens, which we all are obviously probably familiar with now, very similar to something like MinSwap, SundaySwap, or even Ring Riders. But that's not all. They're also going to be focusing on providing an AMM style protocol for NFTs as well. So think about this. NFTs tend to be a little bit more illiquid or harder to extract ADA out of, which is why we've seen the rise of lending and borrowing protocols, for example, like Lenfi Finance, where you're able to put down your NFT as collateral in order to get some ADA for it. Now, if you're looking to just quickly exit a NFT position, right now you have to jump on a platform like jpeg.store. That can take days to list your NFT and then for somebody to actually accept that purchase, even with things such as their instant sales. Now, what the CSwap team is aiming to do is take the very similar approach to the AMM style protocols that we have with liquidity pools for fungible tokens. However, they're going to apply that now to NFTs as well. So in a world where CSwap is live, imagine a liquidity pool for a particular NFT collection that allows for you to come in at any time to then quickly swap out your NFT, right, for a value, and then get that value directly from the liquidity pool. This again allows for you to quickly exit or liquidate your NFTs without having to wait for somebody to actually accept or purchase that on the other end. Now, one thing with this that I do have questions about, and I would be more than happy to have the CSwap team on the channel, will just be exactly how they plan to manage the liquidity. If they've got more sellers than there are buyers, you could imagine that a lot of that liquidity pool will be exhausted with people putting their NFT in order to withdraw their ADA or the value, depending on whatever token that the actual liquidity pool is made out of. Again, not making any assumptions here, I would assume that the liquidity pools for the NFTs will be based off of ADA. So for example, if you own an Ape Society NFT and you jump into the actual CSwap platform, and let's say that NFT is worth 3,000, and let's say there's maybe 10,000 worth of liquidity in there, if 3 or 4 people come in to also sell their NFTs, at that point, there's going to have, or they are going to have NFTs in their possession, the CSwap protocol, but their ADA will actually be exhausted. So I'm wondering exactly what they plan to do to make sure that these liquidity pools aren't quickly exhausted. But then also, how are they going to be bootstrapping the initial liquidity, right? Are they going to be reaching out to some of the projects building on the network in order to get them to actually fund their collections with an initial liquidity pool or with initial liquidity? Very similar to what we see with teams right now that they do with fungible tokens, right? Which is to set a small allocation for liquidity providing or liquidity provision on different DEXes. Now, because some of these projects are already launched, if they haven't set money aside or liquidity aside for that, again, I'm wondering exactly how the CSwap team will bootstrap that. Will they be actually putting up some liquidity up there? And then what happens once the liquidity runs low, or if there's more sell pressure into these AMM liquidity pools for the NFTs, then there is buy pressure where people are actually putting in their ADA in order to buy an NFT. Either way, I like to see some of this innovation coming in from the CSwap team. And again, moving forward, I'll do my best to bring you guys more coverage surrounding this particular protocol. That will do it here for today's Cardano Scoop. It was a brief one, but I did want to go ahead and bring out some news for you guys. Again, we talked about Lenfi, their monthly stats. We talked about MAYZ and their testnet now live. We've talked about GoKey and their DAO. And then last but not least, about CSwap. And I forgot to mention one last thing. This is basically that the CSwap DEX in the hybrid AMM for both tokens or fungible tokens and NFTs should be coming in Q1 of 2024. That will be it here for today's video. If you learned anything along the way, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, consider subscribing for more. And last but not least, if you have any questions surrounding anything else that I broke down, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.